Hello everyone and welcome to this Q&A 300 sub spectacular.
Yeah. This
is me, Theedrewgamer, joined by Mr. Daniel Designs.
Yes.
For
Which is my legacy.
Joined for this special 300 sub special
Q&A
special. But we had the pleasure of actually doing this in person because they've started to wean down on lockdown precautions.
Yeah, we're allowed a bubble.
we're allowed like one person over.
Yeah.
So
we haven't left the house in like 3 months. So.
No, we haven't. So I'm just like,
come on over.
Come on over, Daniel. Didn't see you there.
Bubble me like in World of Illusion when you're underwater.
So a lot of you asked different questions. Yeah. Some of you asked multiple questions, and Daniel is here to read them.
I'm the question master. Yeah. Why is it?
Oh,
bloody A fever, Andrew.
Oh, sorry, my inner bug snacks came.
Bug snacks. Make sure I'm leaning in a bit.
All right, go on, lean in. Go on.
I was gonna like do them out of Audible on my Noddy just because I can't.
Okay. I can't remember what any of the questions are, so it's all right.
No, it's fine.
I can't. Yeah.
Bug snacks.
Yes.
This question is from Shiny Parky. If you could be in a class in Trials of Mana, what would it be?
Any class from Trials of Mana? Okay, well, this is hard because one, I haven't finished it.
Yes.
So
I thought to start with an easy one.
So yeah, I haven't finished Trials of Mana, and I've been going through blind, so I haven't looked up at any of like the future classes.
Yeah.
But probably one of Reese's or maybe Duran's, because Duran gets like Gladiator and stuff like that, and it gives him the abilities to attack and heal.
Yeah.
But then and then you have Reese, who uses a spear, but then she uses like different magic for like debuffs and buffs. Yeah. But she uses a lot of wind-based attacks and stuff. So I thought that'd be cool.
That's nice.
That's really nice.
That's bloody windy of you, Andrew.
Yeah. Windy Miller.
Yeah, just a little bit then. It's not good.
So that's probably my answer. The Duran's, because I can't really say like without spoiling it for myself.
It's more like, what's your favourite so far?
Yeah. I can't remember what any of them are called either. I just remember Gladiator.
Gladiator. Glad-shiator.
Glad-shiator.
And the rest. Yeah, exactly. You got it, Andrew. You got it. Let's get some of these multi-part questions out of the way, because there's a few of them. If you could hang... Oh, this one's... Oh, hang on. That one's annoying because it's multi-part in a multi-part.
Oh, okay.
This one's from Rocket88.
Okay.
First question. If you could hang out with any 5 famous people throughout history, who would they be and why?
5 famous people throughout history?
Yeah.
Can they be dead or alive?
Does not specify, so go nuts.
Well...
Throughout history. Well, if it's throughout history, I assume most of them would be not alive.
But could I...
Because otherwise it'd be a very short history.
Could I technically say, like, Hironobu Sakaguchi? Because he's technically part of gaming history.
He's in history, yeah.
He's a gaming history. We'd sit down and we'd talk about...
Be like, yo, Gooch, what's up?
We go, yo, Gooch, we hear you like Vivi.
Don't call me that. I don't know how it was. Some people.
So definitely Hironobu Sakaguchi. And we'd sit down and we'd talk about RPGs and Final Fantasy and what it means to be a game designer, like, of that caliber.
To be a god.
To be a game designer god.
Yeah.
Who else? I'd go back and I'd meet Nobunaga Oda, because he was a gentleman. He wasn't. He was quite evil actually. But I want to know like what he'd do with how he went about being like this person that was just kind of like picked on because he was young, and all these other warlords were really kind of like old and established, and he was just this little guy. And he was like, oh, they call me the Fool of Awari. And then he was just like, oh, I'm going to take on this warlord while he's going past, and I'm going to run down at him on a hill while it's raining.
When he's going past, not even like in a battle, just like he's walking past and just like dives.
That's what they made it seem
Get
like.
him!
It was just like he was going past through a valley and Nobunaga was on top of the hill. And then he rode down the hill.
Just by chance. I was like,
oh, look, he's down there.
Oh, look, a warlord.
Well, he was just like going past, and he was like, oh, look, I see him, he's on the road below, let's wave to him. And then the horses slipped down the hill and he just stabbed him through the...
He waves and all his like army take it for like a signal. It's like, "Wah!" So guys.
How many am I supposed to pick? 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
good 2. Both Japanese because you're biased.
Alexander the Great.
Yeah. Is it because he was great?
Yeah, because he was fantastic. Alex the Fantastic.
Alex the mediocre.
Because I always like that era of history and like how Alexandria came to be, and the Pharaohs of Alexandria, and I always love the history of like both Greece and Egypt, so that's helpful. That's helpful.
That's helpful.
Joan of Arc, because I'm curious to like how her story came about, because obviously she found a sword that she said she found because God pointed her in that direction. I want to know if it was actually like she was just schizophrenic, or
yeah,
or she actually heard God.
Yeah, so schizophrenic.
Just be like, that sword you've got. She's like, yes,
yes.
Oh, we.
We.
It's like, did it come from God? It's like, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, we.
Are you sure you didn't steal it?
No.
Yes. No.
So that's what, 3, 4?
That's 4.
Okay. And then the last one, probably Hannibal. Because I love the story of Hannibal crossing the Alps and then doing like the fall back formation. I can't remember what it's actually called. He was like that, and then he pushed back, and all the enemies went in the middle, and his men surrounded them and massacred them all. I think that's a fantastic strategy. Yes. I want to learn more about it and subscribe to his newsletter.
Yeah, like strategy.
And then post it on elephants with 1 word on each elephant.
Yeah. Put your logo on each elephant. It's like, what is this symbol? Oh, nothing. Promoted back in the day. Yeah, so that's part 1.
Part 1. There's another part.
What's this 3? And they're all like multi-part, but there's like multiple questions. They're all multi-part.
All right, that's
multiple
fine.
questions. Andrew, it sickens me. What are 3 things you like about yourself?
Don't.
Yeah, we'll answer the question. Answer the damn question.
3 things that I like about myself.
Yeah.
That I have a creative mind.
Yes.
That I'm able to create like all these like universes and note them down into cohesive stories and descriptions and all that good stuff, and create designs that I'm able to that's about it. That I can I don't know. That's about it. I don't really like myself, so.
But he should, because he's a bloody lovely bloke.
Oh, Daniel.
Thumbs up.
Big thumb.
That's what you should also like about yourself. You've got a big thumb. What are 3 things you've always wanted to do and haven't yet?
Publish a novel.
Time you get to the toilet. Let's publish means something different.
Create a game. I mean, I've technically done that, but would you consider it?
No.
Exactly.
Here's a game.
Create an actual game. Or work
game.
for like someone like the Pokemon company designing Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. That's what 3 things I would love to do with my life.
Did you say 3?
Yes.
I only heard 2.
Publish a book, create an actual game, and then design Pokemon for the Pokemon.
Alright, I took design Pokemon.
Oh, well, you...
Game!
Naughty!
I bet. Right, that's all the questions from Rocket. I bet. Let's ask a single one to break it up a bit. Andre Stopper. This is from Sunak. One day you wake up in the latest game you played, but the evil character, or us, are trying to kill you. Well, you and how would you try to survive?
Don't know if I could.
How would you try to survive?
Well, the latest game I've been playing is Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, you just jump straight off a cliff.
It's like, oh, I'd be straight out of that, jumping off cliffs and like, oh look, it's a Mechon. I'd be like straight off that cliff, coming towards me, and all these robots like trying to eat me. And I'm just like, no.
Or Cockney. I'm going to eat you! It's like, alright, calm down. It's a bit intense for me, yeah. And then the other one appears, Metal Face, and he's like also Cockney now, but not as intense.
Yeah.
I was just like, Jesus Christ.
I was just like, okay, that whole section was really intense.
No, you just wouldn't stop, would it?
I was like, oh my god.
You finally escape the man and just all there waiting for you, like 50 swords. I was like, alright.
Oh, but yeah, I'd probably be screwed, to be honest, unless I actually had the Monado. I don't know if it's like saying if I'm a person within the world, or if I'm like playing the role of...
It just says, where are you and how would you try? So, like, where would you be in the game?
Oh, I'd just live in that marsh.
The marsh, the deadly marsh where as soon as night hits, it's like loads of level 80 enemies just flying around.
I know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'd just live there because it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but you would die.
Yeah. Especially with those giant spiders that you like... You go off and you're like, oh, well, I'll just grab this.
God.
Oh, there's a giant spider, and then you go back and put it on the pedestal. You're like, oh, it's fine. I've got what I came for. And then 3 come up.
I didn't see 3 appear. I turned around, and then one just kind of came out the mist. It's like, where did that come from? And then I sort of ran back, and there's one behind me, and then there's another one. It's like, oh my god.
They all like charged towards me, and I like looked down for a second and looked back up, and they were just there. I was like, bloody hell!
So rotate the cameras. I'm running towards it, and I just flew straight off the cliffs. Oh my god. It's proper panicked. It's proper ambush. So that's how you try and survive.
Just jump off the cliff. It's alright though, because as soon as I land, I recover my health, so it's alright. Yeah. But don't worry about broken legs.
It's a good job you don't. It's not like a game over when you kill yourself by full damage, isn't it?
I know.
Because you just do it all the time.
You're just like, oh, for crying out loud.
You're just sick of it. Not again.
Or that waterfall glitch that just kept happening.
Oh my god. You just see.
Did you get to the next area?
No, I was like, I got to the point where I have to climb up to go to the forest.
Oh, okay.
And then he just ran back. It said, oh, you can rebuild Colony 6. It's like, right, I'm off. So, like, my story progress goes like, and then like, oh, like, bonus stuff.
I know, yeah.
And a bonus stuff. It's like slowly edging the story, and I keep going back and doing loads of side quests.
It's intense. It really is intense, but it's beautiful. But yeah, that's where I'd be. I'd be on the Bionis.
Borders.
Or maybe I'd live on the Bionis leg.
The Bionis toe. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool, slightly deadly place to live that's constantly under threat by robots.
I know. Robots with digestive organs.
Yeah. It's like, I'm hungry. Feed me.
You're like, what? So say that again. I couldn't understand you.
Just eating the entire cast of EastEnders.
Also,
yes.
Why is it you know who?
I don't know. Chinifer. Chinifer.
Rayleigh.
Saunders.
Rayleigh Saunders.
Anyway, next question. This is from Super Saiyan Blue Lucario. Number 1. If you could transform into any animal at will, what would it be and why?
If I could transform into any animal
At will.
It would either be an otter, a sea otter specifically, because I love sea otters. They're amazing. They just like chill on the water, just like floating around, and they have the ability to break open clams.
Small pebbles.
And so I'd with small pebbles or on big rocks, so I at least have a source of food.
Yeah. And
then I could wrap myself in like seaweed, like they do, and just chill on the water. and then just float around like chilling all day, not worrying about anything, apart from like the potential shark that might come close to the shore.
Yeah, apart from any of these number of predators.
A wolf, because wolves are amazing and they're pack animals, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's join the pack and like go off and do all these amazing things together. Like create a game in a pack. We'd be the Digimolves.
It's like, this is my team, and just like a bunch of wolves eating a carcass. Hard work on our next game. It's like pans in there close to it and just cuts away.
Or an eagle, because
I only said one, Andrew, you've gone 3. But go on, why would you be an eagle?
because they're
Tiny brain.
majestic.
Oh, I've done you.
Oh, ow.
Punch at that.
They're majestic and like they're very clever.
Andrew, you're majestic.
But those would be my 3,
Nice.
even though I was supposed to.
No, it's like the only question that didn't ask for 3. They're like, I'll give you 3.
I'll struggle in all the others.
Yeah, you probably will. If you could invite Andrew, if you could invite anyone famous, dead or alive, to dinner, who'd it be? And what would you ask them?
The Gooch.
You've doubled up on the Gooch.
I have, because
He was like, the Gooch, sucker.
because Hironobu Sakaguchi is amazing, and I mentioned earlier in the previous question why I would want to meet him and ask him, talk about video games and talk about his life and how creating Final Fantasy affected him, or creating all these RPGs like affected his life, and how it built him to the man he is today that lives in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And he just always poses that little thing on the beach.
Yeah, and a little alien thing.
He's just always there on the beach.
And he just like plays with Lego all day. The design game is like, what a baby. He just plays
like,
with Lego every day, just like undermined his whole career. Yeah, just plays with Lego all day.
He's our spirit animal.
Yeah. This one's from Metamac. Do you dance?
Do I dance? Do I? Daniel, yeah. Daniel, you answer that question.
Yes. Erratically. Erratically and with great fear in his eyes.
So I hope that answers your question, Josh.
I'll just not give him like a definitive answer. Leave that to one of life's great mysteries. Because I've done him out of order now and I can't really check him off. I've got to make sure I don't do the same one again.
Oh. This is from Rasta Heels, Andrew.
Rasta.
If you had to make a team of 6 different villains from any JRPG MMOs to save the world, who would you choose? Suicide Squad style. And of course, why? 6 heels.
That's a bit difficult, isn't it?
It is, you've done it before because this is our second take.
It is our second take because the original take didn't happen.
Yeah. Happened on Andrew's side and I forgot to record.
So we're doing it like 6 weeks later or something.
It's probably like a couple of weeks, but it feels like 6 weeks.
Magus from Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
Because he'd have the power with all these different magic.
Power positive
Yeah.
on his side.
And he loves a bit of time travel. So if there was any time travel involved, he'd be like, oh, I'm all over that.
I'm there.
Sephiroth, so basically long silver haired people.
I see you've got a type.
Because he'd be like, right, this is the theory behind it. He'd be like, no, you're not allowed to destroy the world. I'm going to. I want to destroy the world. So he would actually help until he saved the world, and then he'd summon Meteor. And you'd be like, oh, bloody hell. And then you'd have to stop Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Or you'd kill him before he did, he's got the black materia.
Yeah.
It was like, here's this. Just like keep constantly offering him up the black materia. So it's like, here.
And a fishing rod.
Here. You want it? You'd be like,
No. Naughty.
Naughty.
Just squirt it with a water. It's like a water squirter. Bad. Stop it. He just got it in his mouth. Like, spit it. Again, growling.
But isn't it like in the shape of like the temple?
Because it's like a pyramid, but then a pyramid underneath in it, so it's like double pyramid action.
So it's got like a pyramid in his mouth. It's like, no. Just like smacking him on the
Newspapers. Stop it.
Giovanni,
Right, okay.
because he's a criminal mastermind, you know, he could lead them.
He'd steal all the Pokemon you could ever want.
He'd steal all the Pokemon you could ever want. He's got Mewtwo, if Mewtwo was behaving.
Yeah, if it feels like it.
He's like, oh, I made you. He's like, no, you didn't.
I made you.
I made you what you want. He's like, no, you just put armor on me and I got made in a lab. It's alright.
Oh, the armor in the new film. The remake is stupid.
I didn't say
It's all over the top and spiky. It's completely like
Oh, look, birds.
too much. Oh, what's Mewtwo?
Mewtwo,
you heard you
Mewtwo's
talking shit about me.
comes around the corner, he's like, ooh.
Just all some of them.
How much is that? 3?
Yes.
We've got to come up with how many?
6.
6.
Of all numbers.
6.
6.
Like a Pokemon team.
Exactly.
Ah. Villains. Maybe Kuja from 9.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, it's as well with Magus, like they're kind of like, obviously they're antagonists, but they're not like the complete antagonists.
Yeah, didn't go full Sephiroth.
No, like Kuja's just wants a reason to live, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like throughout the whole game, like well, not the whole game, but like once you get to disc 2, you're like, oh, or the end of disc 1, you're like, oh, who is this? So this must be like the biggest antagonist in the game, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
But he kind of was, but he kind of wasn't.
So he was all doing a bidding of someone else when he mainly.
Yeah. But like when you see it in Dissidia, like originally he was on the side of Cosmos.
Oh, right.
And then he switched over to Chaos, and then in the new one he was like back over to the good side.
What's up?
Because he wasn't like completely evil, he was just like misguided and he just wanted to live. And then he had like a relationship with Terra because she was like, she wasn't manufactured, but she was used for that sort of same thing, and she was controlled. So I'd say Kuja, and again he has a lot of magic and he can fling his balls around.
Oh! I should do ultimate now. Just like destroy the world.
Oh, poof! He loves a bit of ultimate, that boy, doesn't he?
He does.
And it puts you on 1 health.
He does.
They love a
and
bit of,
destroys the planet.
Yeah,
if it's Terra.
they love a bit of 1 health on that game.
They do. It's just like, oh, we've nearly killed you, but not quite.
Not quite. But you can't Beatrix as a villain. I don't think so. She's just like a...
You want for a big part of the game.
Yeah.
It's the same as Kuja, but not as to that extent.
I'll put Beatrix then, because Beatrix is...
Instead of Kuja? Or as well as Kuja?
As well as Kuja.
Oh, it's 2 9s, Andrew.
It is. Fancy 9s.
How dare you?
A bad. Beatrix.
Sorry, bad.
I still wish Beatrix was like actually part of your team.
Yeah.
Because she's like one of my favorite characters from that game, and she's just like, she's incredibly powerful with a sword. And she has stuff like, she has white magic, so that would help, because no one else in the team so far has had white magic. And then
yeah, she's a paladin, isn't she?
she's a paladin, and then she just goes like, oh, Klim has it.
Oh, Klim has it.
And then she sees a Bandersnatch with its tiny little eyes. And she's like, I'm going to kill you.
Shock. One more, Andrew.
One more. Okay. One more. This is where it gets hard. Because like a lot of JRPGs that I love, but like it's hard to say sometimes who like the main villain is. Or remember who the main villain is.
Yeah. Master Xehanort.
Xehanort, there you go. Kingdom Hearts, Xehanort, boom. Because
he once had long silver.
he wants
Yeah, that fills the criteria.
Everyone either has long hair or silver hair, apart from Giovanni.
Or wants to. Giovanni wants to.
Johnny
wants to. Johnny want it.
But I'd go, yeah, Xehanort, because he has the power of darkness on his side. But the way that Xehanort worked was like he was doing it all for the side of light, but he threw himself into darkness, so it's kind of a bittersweet.
Yeah, he corrupted his own ideas.
Yeah, he corrupted his own ideas to bring light back to the world.
Yeah.
So he, in a way, he is good, but he's still the villain because he caused all this like destruction. Yeah. But he did it for a good reason.
But then, as we know, as the series continues past 3, it's like, but even he was sort of like pushed in a direction.
Yeah, he wasn't
so
like.
He wasn't,
have you seen this fucking thing for all this new stuff?
I keep seeing bits, yeah.
I'm just like
Dark Road and stuff. And the characters.
Yes, with a certain character. Did you see that?
No.
Ah, well, we'll talk about that later. This is the time.
Yeah, so there's your 6 villains.
Yes.
Don't know. God. If this is from Beggars, if you had to pick one game to play on YouTube and not change that game as long as you're on YouTube, what would it be?
Final Fantasy IX.
Yes.
So very, very firm answer on that. Final Fantasy IX. As much as like I love Pokemon and stuff, like going through, you can't, because obviously we're selecting one game.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the same Pokemon game over and over and over again would be really hard. Because they're short. But if we did Final Fantasy IX, you could speed run it. You could do challenge let's plays. You could do, and you could do that with any game. But I love Final Fantasy IX, so I need to drink. I'm dying. I don't even know where this came from. Just pulled it out of nowhere. Yeah, so like, and then you could do like, oh, I need to get the Excalibur 2, which is a lot of fun. Getting that sword, the best sword in the game, and in under 12 hours, which is only at the end of the game.
Like, yeah, you technically do like a trophy run.
Mm-hmm.
The 1,000 escape rope challenge.
It's awful.
Probably in like 10 days or something.
No, it was only last night.
10 days. Yeah, and like you could do like a level 1 run. Stuff like that.
Yeah, or VV only run.
Yeah.
Obviously outside of the bits that you can use VV.
Yeah.
Unless you cheat VV onto what you
Yeah, you just like mod him into all the other characters. Team of VV. Yeah, so 599.
Yes.
Don't know. Let's do a multi-part one.
Multi-part.
Multi. This is from Hero Scrub.
Alright.
It's got 4 questions.
4?
Number
4?
1. What got you into RPGs and JRPGs?
What got me into RPGs was my friend. I don't know if I got Pokemon before Final Fantasy, but I think I played. I remember like my friend saying something. Well, I say friend. This person said something about Final Fantasy 7, and at the time I didn't know Roman numerals, so I ended up renting Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah.
So when did 8 come out? 99.
Yeah, because now it's like 2001.
Yeah. And I rented 8, and I played it, and I didn't really understand what I was doing, because obviously like 8's very confusing with its junction system and all that. So that was fun. But I loved like the cutscene of it and stuff, and I'd run around the battles and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like the battles are incredible, and it's making you think and stuff. But every time I played it, I didn't save it because I didn't really understand how to save it at the time. And then another one of my friends came around and he brought Final Fantasy 7. I was playing it and I was like, oh, this is phenomenal. And I started a new game on it and stuff. And then like eventually after my exams, for doing like really well on my exams, my dad bought me Final Fantasy 7. So then I went through it. I'm trying to think if I had I know I had a Game Boy Color, but I didn't get Pokemon straight away. I got Pokemon for Christmas one year, but I think it was after I got Final Fantasy 7. Because I remember getting it for Christmas, and I was like, oh. And then I got 8 like after my exams as well, or something. I got 8 after my exams, and then 9 I got like. I have a story about 9.
Oh, tell us, Andrew.
Because we bet on the Grand National. My dad would always like, oh, put a bet on the Grand National. And I'm like, I don't want to, because obviously it's the Grand National. I didn't want to. And he was just like, oh, just do it, go on. So I just like put it at a horse. I was like, yeah, that one. And every time I put it at a horse, it won. So like each year he'd make me do it. And I put it at a horse, and Ben was there. And he was like, oh, and then Dad was like, oh, the bet is for like both of you. So you can split the money between you.
Yeah.
So then he was like, and I was like, oh, all right, okay. And then it won like 50 quid. And then one day Dad was like, oh, you can either get Final Fantasy 9 or you can give half of the money to Ben. And I was like, I'll take Final Fantasy 9. Because he didn't do anything. He was just there and he was just like, oh, I want some of that money. He didn't pick a horse or anything. It was like, and then my dad was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And then like eventually Ben was just like, oh, did you ever get that money?
You're like, no.
I was like, no, I didn't. Dad never gave it to me.
Just that, like, gold jewelry. It's like, no. Fair go.
So, like, yeah, it was, he got robbed out of, like, money, but I was like, okay, well, I got 529 out of it, so.
Everyone wins.
And to be fair, the amount of stuff that Ben would talk to me about, I think it was compensation for...
Trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma compensation.
Trauma compensation. So, there you go.
What a divergent story, but I loved it. What's your favorite RPG that is not made by Square Enix?
Not made by Square Enix.
Oh.
Well, usually,
Oh.
obviously Pokemon is high up there,
Yeah.
but level 5 RPGs
Yes.
are phenomenal, apart from White Knight Chronicle. I don't like White Knight
We didn't
Chronicle.
talk about that one.
We don't, it's not existence.
It's like the what you call it, the black sheep of the.
Because it like the idea behind it is amazing. Like the actual game itself, like the concept of it is really good, but it was like an MMO style combat. And it was just like, why? Because you could go online and play with friends and stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to do that.
PS2 era. Was it PS3? PS3.
And it just like took ages to get anywhere. And it was you made a character at the start of the game, and then the character wasn't like the main character or anything. It was just like a side character, and you just see it. It was just there following like the main party around. So why?
But which one is your favourite?
Either Rogue Galaxy, which was a very, very, very late PS2 game.
Yeah.
It was like right at the end of the
Space
PS2.
fantasy.
Space fantasy. Pirates. Your spaceship was an actual pirate ship
It was.
that surrounded in a barrier so you could fly through space. You went to different worlds and recruited different people to the pirate team, basically.
Pirate life.
The pirate life, because like something happened to them in that life, and like they ended up joining you. And there was a jungle planet, there was a like a big metropolis planet like Coruscant, and then there was like the gangster planet.
Oh yeah, those one.
With a big mine, and it was run by these gangsters. Then there was like an ocean planet, which fucking
Yeah.
it had
Come on.
it had like sea creature people.
Yes, it did.
But they were like the top half of them was the sea creature, and it fucking like it's so intense. Like the top half of it was like a shark, and the bottom half was like normal legs. And then you had like ones that were just like a normal body, but then they just suddenly had a fish head, but like they just like got a fish and just stuck it on.
Yeah, just like mixed and matched it.
Oh, so like it was really intense. I just fucking couldn't deal with it.
And still can't.
And still can't, like, clearly. And then the whole point of it was like you were looking for like the legendary planet of Eden.
Yeah.
And once you found Eden, like through all these like different weird like twists and turns, like it turned out to be like a planet that was like frozen in time or something.
Yeah, something like that. It got very confused towards the end.
It did, but it was like phenomenal. It like drew you in, and then you had like the way you got all these weapons, but the way you fused them together, you'd have to level them up to a certain point, and then you could fuse them together. And the way you fused them together was you put them inside a toad's mouth. The toad would eat them.
Toad's mouth.
Toady, and then he would spit them out, and it'd be a new weapon, or a more powerful version of that weapon.
I mean, obviously.
Clearly. And then every character had a major weapon and a sub-weapon. And usually, like, the major weapon was their melee weapon.
Yeah.
And then the sub-weapon was, like, a gun or something. But certain characters didn't have that. They'd have, like, 2 melee weapons. And then one character had a bow as their main weapon, but had, like, a knife as their sub-weapon.
Yeah.
There was no ability to heal in that game either. Like, you could use potions and stuff, but you didn't get any abilities that let you actually heal.
No. It was all iron-based, wasn't it?
It was all item-based, and that's what made it really intense, because it was like, okay, I've got to make sure I stock up on items, I'm going to die. Eventually, I'm going to stream it.
You will, again.
again, well, I started recording it.
You did.
But then I realised, I was just like, okay, well, this isn't going to happen because, for the main reason that it's about 70 hours long. I was like, I can't record that in all the detail. And then you had the Insectron. I love the Insectron. A lot of people didn't. Where you'd just go around to different planets and you catch insects, and then you'd play like a game of chess with them.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. And it was really hard.
Yeah, I remember it being hard.
It was fucking solid. I never completed it. I got to the last round and I just kept dying. I was like, oh, sad face. And then the other one, the other RPG, Ni no Kuni, the first one, The Wrath of the White Witch.
Yeah.
Because I love games where it's going mental. I love the all the like monster style or creature training and stuff. And I love the style of it. It's in the style of Studio Ghibli. The story is beautiful. It like starts off really impactful, like straight away.
Yeah.
And it draws you in, and then it kind of slows down a little bit, and then it's like picks up like intensely, and just like the creatures you can get, and then you can like change their form and like train them up and get new abilities and stuff. It's really intricate and it's beautiful, and then you can equip different things to your characters, and you can equip different things to your creatures. So there's a lot of love in that game.
Yes.
And it was originally a 3DS game, wasn't it? Or a DS game?
Yeah, it was like a 3DS and a PlayStation 4.
And you got this book called The Wizard's Companion.
You could get it with the Japanese PS3 one.
Yeah, I've always tried to find it and I've never been able to find it.
Yeah, it was like a limited
It
edition.
was supposed to, when I ordered mine, I ordered it from Game and it said it was coming with The Wizard's Companion.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't get it.
It's like, sorry, we don't have that.
And we asked and we said, oh, can we get this? Does it come with The Wizard's Companion? It was like, yeah, it comes with it. And then on the day they were like, oh, we don't have it, sorry. You know, like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because what the Wizard's Companion was like, it was a book full of everything in the game. Like the monsters, and like it had little hints, and you'd actually have to reference the book to play the game.
The spells were like symbols and like
you had to like
symbols.
the symbols like that you got. What you could tell they were like, oh, well, you have to draw those on the touch screen.
Yeah.
So there was that sort of stuff, and then there was like a character who ran around and he was like, oh, tell me about this. Read this story and tell me the answer. You'd have to actually read the story to get the answer.
Yeah.
The little ghost boy.
Yeah.
And then there was like certain other things that you'd have to look in the book to be able to find out. You do get the book in the PS3 version, but it's like a digital version of it.
Yeah.
Like you can look through it and then you can zoom in on it and you see it. But I want a physical copy of that book because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yes, the Rogue Galaxy or Ni no Kuni.
And number 3, what is your favourite Square Enix game? Which you probably answered.
Final 9.
Number 4.
Chrono Trigger.
Number 4, thoughts on doing an RPG-based co-op / race in the late future? Late future?
I mean, I'm technically doing them.
Yeah.
Technically. I don't think I'd ever do like, outside of Pokemon, I don't think I'd ever do like a versus on an RPG.
No.
Just because it'd just be like, it'd be too
It
fun.
also really depends on the game. Like a lot of RPGs aren't really built for that.
Yeah, you could do technically like Chrono Trigger or something because like it's long, but it's not like super long.
Yeah.
But the problem is like when we play games, we like to go off.
Well, that's why we play RPGs.
Yeah, because we don't want to just be forced down a specific path. As much as Pokemon is trying to force you down a specific path and stuff, you can still go off and you can do all these different things.
Their main games are fairly linear and short anyway.
Yeah. So that's why we were able to do, like, I can do, like, the verses with Sinak or, like, the Simulcast with Daniel. Even though it's called a Platinum Versus, it's not really a versus. We're just, like, chilling.
It's versus in the sense that there's two of us playing a game at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I wouldn't do, like, say, a versus through a Final Fantasy game. Those are more, like, if I do, like, a co-op, we technically are doing a co-op.
Yeah.
Because we're playing 10-2 and then we're going to play some other games together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all like, I'll play a bit of it, and then Dan will play a bit of it, and then stuff like that. So it's not like a co-op in the sense of like, we're both playing it at the same time and just playing it together sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're just like, we're doing in-person co-op, which is dying. But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. Mainly us dying. This is a question from Hippocrates. Imagine a game developer wanted to partner with you. The concept for the game was yours, but you had to select a single album which would inspire visuals and the in-game soundtrack. Which album would you choose? No video game soundtracks, and what game would you make?
Well, it'd be an RPG.
Yes.
And it would probably be Nightwish. I think it's Nightwish by Imagine Dragons.
Nightwish, I think that's what it's called. It's my favourite album.
It's because I know the songs on the album, but I don't know the actual album name. I think it's Nightwishes or Nightwish.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
If it's the first album. Yeah.
Yes. Because that is very, like, you could do orchestrated versions of it, like you have like intense beats in there and stuff. Obviously you wouldn't have the lyrics in there, but you could like remix the sound of it to fit the area. You could have like literally like a meltdown area happening, and you could have like a remix version of Radioactive in the background.
Night Visions.
Night Visions, there you go, Night Wishes. I knew it was something to do with the night. And then you got like demons, so you could have like a fiery area, but you could have it like really weird, where it's like covered in skeletons and stuff, but the music's all like on a xylophone. But it's like demons.
Yeah. On a xylophone.
Yeah.
Demons on a xylophone.
It's demons on a xylophone. On a skeletal xylophone.
Yeah, and someone's ribcage.
So it'd just be like maybe like sort of like Breath of the Wild, where it's like an open world, interesting world going on, like all this history, but it's kind of themed around Imagine Dragons. So then you could technically, if you could put other albums in there as well, and then you could have like a whole area that's like thunderous, and you could have the song Thunder playing in the background, but like in a Fulmination type of way.
Yes.
So that's my answer. Night Visions. I know I said wishes again. Night Visions.
Night Wishes. When you said Nightwish, I was like, I'm sure
I know they didn't sound right in my
There's a band
head.
called Nightwish, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a heavy metal band. I was like, that doesn't sound like you, Andre. I had one then. Okay, this is from the Double Battle Brothers. Who are the three biggest fictional and three biggest real inspirations on your life? Wow. I think this is one of the last multi-part ones.
Okay.
Just trying to get out the way.
Fictional.
Three fictional.
Three is hard. So it's the hard. Vivi from Fantasy 9.
Yeah, you like Vivi.
Yeah, I love Vivi. I've got a poster of him up there. You can't quite see him, but he's up there. It just says Planet. It's just like,
Planet Vivi.
because Vivi's a little gem, and like we can all learn a lot from Vivi.
Yes.
Because he's like, oh, I'm gonna die, but it's okay. I want to explore the world and live life to the full before I die.
Yes.
And he's only 8 or 9,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
supposedly.
Something like that.
He's like a little boy, and he's just like dying. And it's just like, oh. Really?
Could have focused on the other aspect. He's like, it's dying.
But that's an inspiration, Daniel. He's dying and he's doing all these things. And then you look at other people, you're like, oh, you're stood in line at a specific store that we're not going to tell you.
Primark. Not sponsored by Primark.
Obviously, Hironobu Sakaguchi is a real life.
Yeah, so it's one real, one fictional, both tied.
Yeah.
Come here.
Bless you. Bless you.
Juga.
Chuga?
Yeah.
Who's that? Is that your real life?
Yeah, it's my real life inspiration. Reginald Chuga.
I don't know. This is hard because it'd all be obviously like sort of like JRPG creators, like Nomura and stuff.
Yeah.
No, do I agree with everything he's doing right now? And then the original creator of Pokemon. They always get his name mixed up. I keep thinking it's Masuda, and it's not Masuda.
No, he's the current president.
Yeah. The bug catcher.
Satori.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
1 second.
But he went around and like he brought Pokemon to us all because he wanted to share his love of bugs.
Yeah.
And his love of bug catching. And
Tajiri.
yes.
That's the one.
Tajiri. So those would be my 3 big like real life inspirations. I just love the fact that that's what he was aiming for, was like to bring that his love of just his childhood. He has like he has certain like a mental condition.
I don't think that's going to have confirmed.
No.
It's one of those things because like a lot of people, he's like known really in the public eye now.
No, wasn't it like he had autism or something?
Yeah, it's rumored he's got like autism or something.
Yeah, but that is now denied.
That's insubstantiated. 2 more fictional.
2 more fictional. 2 more fictional. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who inspired me. Like, I don't really get inspired by like I like enjoy the character, and I'm like obviously I do a lot of character writing and that sort of stuff, but I don't feel like that I connect to someone on like an inspirational level apart from Vivi. But Vivi.
Vavu and Vuva.
Vuva. Yeah, that was, on the fictional side, it's more hard. It's difficult. Especially like a JRPG because there's so many characters. Maybe Yuna.
Ugh.
Oh, not 10-2 Yuna.
I know, but
Oh, Yuna's amazing. What are you talking about?
depressing.
Boring. It's gone all
Until 10 when she goes too far the other way.
I know.
It's too shitty.
Because she starts off as like a meek, like she's very socially awkward sort of character. You can tell it's like even though she's sort of bubbly, she's very awkward because she's like with this person that it's like, oh, this guy, I really like him, but I'm not allowed to be with him, and I've got to go out on this journey to stop a sea monkey from destroying the world, and if I do, I'm gonna die. So it's like it's really like bittersweet. So then she gets like that determination as she goes along, like she wants to do it still. And then when by the end of the game you're like, fucking hell, who is this? This isn't Yuna. And then in 10-2 it's just like, this really isn't Yuna.
Well, who the hell is this?
Okay, so I got 2 and 3. That'll do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott.
That'll do. I think there's only a couple left now. This is from. I'll just quickly go through a bit. Yeah, just in that one. Yeah. Okay, let's end with that one. First, by Sticky Keys, if you could be any RPG character, who would you be and why?
Do I need to answer that?
I could die at the age of 9. So don't choose Vivi. The answer to the question makes it sound like you play about 5 different games. And
I
that's
know,
it.
but it's because they're like the biggest like inspirational games to my life.
But you have played a lot more.
I have played a lot more. I played various different games.
All of them. Final
Ratchet.
Fantasy. Clank's inspiring.
Ratchet.
Clank.
Okay, Clank. I'll sit. You can be Ratchet, and I'll be Clank, and I can sit on your back.
I'll be Clank. I'm the robot.
I'll be Ratchet, and I've got like a.
You are Ratchet.
Yes.
Done you.
Perfect. But I really like Ratchet as a character. Did it say RPG? Or did it just say
said
any?
RPG character.
Oh, well.
Let's blast it open because these have all been RPG heavy.
Yeah, there's been
Say any game character or any.
Yeah. Ever. If it was RPG focused, then BB. But I love BB. It's not my fault.
Be Freya. Be Rat Girl.
No.
Be Rat Girl.
All right.
Mourn your not insomniac.
Mourn your insomniac.
More your memory lost husband.
Because
he got whacked around the head by Beatrix's sword or whatever it was.
Did it ever
forgot who she was?
Did it actually confirm like how he lost his memory? Did he? No, just like
because I'm sure he flashes back to an encounter with Beatrix, and but it doesn't go to detail like what happened or something. I can't remember.
It flashes back to an encounter with Freya.
Yeah.
And then Puck finds him like dead on the floor or something.
It probably was because like Beatrix like, oh, after your kingdom,
yeah.
The queen's selfish.
Yeah, Freya is like an amazing character. Like I love her. Like
maybe Mouse man. Because he went adventuring.
He did. She has like a good redemption arc sort of thing, like because she was a failed dragon knight, and then she became like really powerful, and she traveled on. She went back to save her kingdom, and then she forgave Beatrix for killing everyone because it wasn't her fault.
Yeah, you slaughtered my entire kingdom, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Not
better.
And then if it was like outside of it, then Ratchet, because Ratchet, like he's like the last of his, supposedly the last of his species.
Yeah, I like how 2's not canon anymore, but 2 wasn't even canon in like the PS3 games, because like there's that female Lombax.
Was there?
Was she Lombax? I'm sure she was Lombax. And then Insomniac even joke about it. She's like never referenced again. Like in 2.
Oh yeah.
Now like Ice Planet.
Yeah.
She's there, but she's like a human body.
Yeah.
Dimensions. She's all sexy.
Yes, I can't remember. I don't, because I played them all really close together.
Yeah, same.
I don't remember.
2's the one I vaguely remember the least because I
remember the ending.
Yeah, I remember the big twist at the end.
That was really interesting. But yeah, I'd say Ratchet, because of that, like he's the last of his species. He has like this huge story. He's just pulled into like this big plot that his planet's going to get destroyed, and he's got to go find a way to stop it. Because what was he called? Drex. The Drex?
Well, the first game.
Yeah, Drex. Yeah. And then in 3, he's just like a war hero.
Yeah.
In 2, he was like, he got pulled to another dimension. Not another dimension, another planet.
Yeah.
Galaxy. There you
system,
go.
Yeah.
And I really love Ratchet and Clank, and just like the humor of it is fantastic, and it's just basically our humor. So they're just basically me and Dan going off on an adventure while he sat on my back and I had a wrench.
Yeah. It's just like real life.
And then Daniel does have the power to release a helicopter from his head, but he's not going to show you. He's very shy.
I've got performance issues. I can also turn to a giant mech for reasons.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot about that.
And also time travel things.
Yes.
Final question, Andrew.
Oh, it's raining.
That's not the question. That's not the answer either. If you, from 2 years ago, could ask yourself any 5 questions, what do you think they'd be? And ask from side. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. If I could ask myself, from 2 years ago, I could ask myself questions now.
Yes. Today, Andrew.
How to not worry about views.
Yes.
Because if you sit there and you worry about views or sub count and stuff, yeah, it's nice to get it. And you do, like, obviously when you start YouTube and stuff like that, you do worry about that, like, no one's going to watch you. And then you're like, oh, I only got 1 view on it for a while and stuff. But you have to stick with it. Unless you're really lucky and you get discovered and then people really like you. You have to wait till people discover you, and you have to build up a friendship and a community. And with that, once you talk to people within the community, like, they'll be like, oh, I watched this person, and then other people from their side of the community might come over to your side and stuff, and it just helps build it up. And just like ask myself, like, oh, how do I not worry about views and stuff and subscriber counts? It's harder in streaming. That's one that still kind of gets me, is streaming, because if I don't get many views in a YouTube video, like, yeah, it's still, you know, like, obviously, like, not good, but yeah. I don't care about it as much as streaming, because with streaming you're live and you sat there and you're trying to talk to people and stuff, and then if no one comes in, you're like, oh, okay, so that's kind of like intense. You sat there talking for like 2 hours, not doing anything, not talking to anyone. But that would be what? How many questions? 5 or 3?
I don't think it was listed, was it? It was just like, what would you tell yourself? Oh yeah, 5 questions.
5 questions. Okay, well, there's 1.
They love the multiple thing.
Question 2 would be, would you do anything different with how you went about it? Would you still focus on RPGs, or would you want to branch it open a bit more? I mean, I've got like other games on my channel as well. Like we had our Spyro series, and I've had like other stuff on there.
Spyro series.
But it's been mainly RPG focused, because I love RPGs. That's like my main one of my main passions. What games do I have to look forward to in the future?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I can't tell you though because of time travel.
It's like, does Final Fantasy VII come out? Yes.
Yes.
Kind of.
Would you?
I mean, it's only from 2 years ago, so it's like.
I know, yeah. So we know, like, it's from 2 years ago. How was Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, that's pretty much the sort of questions.
And they'd be like. Not that I don't. Well, I like 3, but I need to actually stream it.
Yeah.
Because I never played my copy of it because I played it on Richie's.
Yeah, you're just selfish.
Selfish.
Selfish if you're not to play their own game that you
love. Question 4. Was this 4 or 5?
I don't freaking know. Let's say it's 4.
Would you have binned off a certain someone earlier than now?
I think that's a foregone conclusion.
Like, yes. And I'll be like, I'll go back in time and bin him off now because you're going to save yourself on our sake.
But think of the memes.
And question 5. Question 5 would be
Mambo number 5. Mambo number 5.
Eric Ross is staring at me like
Bango. That's what Eric has to say. Well, Andrew, it's the last question.
I don't know. Would you have changed careers, or are you happy with what you're doing now? I think that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I asked myself.
Yeah. You're just like, what is your favourite colour 2 years from now? Just like, run out of ideas. Yeah, that's
well, that was number 5.
Yeah, no,
that's alright now. Alright now.
I just gave you a better option as well.
I just gave you
What's your favourite colour?
Yes.
Excellent.
That is all the questions. So thank you
for all your questions.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for asking me questions. Thank you so much for the support over all these years of getting to 300 subs. I think right now, like as of this video, depending when it goes up and everything, I'm at 332.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And this was planned like just after you'd gone past 300.
Yeah, it was like 301, and I was like, so I'll leave it a couple of days till it's still over 301.
Yeah, just to be sure. The balls.
And then I'm at 332 right now. So thank you so much for everyone with the support because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And
we should do like a one-off game for like your next milestone instead of the Q&A.
Yes.
Q&As are good, but you know.
The next milestone's going to be 500.
500. Every 100.
No, it's not every 100, is it? But 300.
No, I was just saying if you
Daniel!
Every 100. Right. Brilliant, Malik. Yeah, so.
Yeah, thank you. That's what happens when we don't see each other for fucking months.
Yeah, it builds up. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to... No, we're not done yet.
See you next time.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias if you're not already.
Yes.
Follow me on on Twitch to keep up with my streams. Follow Daniel.
Oh, don't bother.
Follow Daniel at Danju's Designs and go to his website, danjusdesigns.com.
Yeah, please do.
And we'll see you all in the next time video. Bye.